Long way, get this shit a long way, this shit a long way. Get the long way, hit the long way, 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 shit, long way, 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 shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a long way, gotta get the shit a long way, rich, yeah. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a long way. She don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand. She be tripping every day, she be tripping every way. But I gotta get this shit along, gotta get this shit along. Tryna get money every single way, tryna get money every single day, yeah. Get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. I'm feeling like we be the new slave. No, we gotta finish rich. No, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand. She don't understand. She's gotta get rich. She don't understand. Sometimes we gotta hit lit. No, we ain't hit lit. Tryna get the long way, yeah. Tryna get the shit the long way, yeah. Cause you tryna wrap up a entree, yeah. Told you the other day that did my phone strong. We gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Yeah, get the shit the long way. My bitch be trippin' back and forth like a pong way. My name is Tari, I ain't playing games, so I'm done talking. Yesterday she told me that she about to leave, man. Said fuck it, bitch, we gonna get some money. Said fuck it, bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I want to get some money, yeah. Cause we gon' get this shit the long way, long way, we gon' get this shit the long way, yeah. Back and forth like the pong way, yeah. Man, I'ma get this shit the long way, get this shit the long way. Just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy. We gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day. We be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, for yeah. So we gon' get this shit the long way, we gon' get this shit long way, we gon' get this shit the long way. We gon' get this shit the long way, yeah, we get this shit the long way, yeah. Cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, yeah. We gon' get the long way, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host, LJ Young. You guys see the center picture there. That's more for me to inspire myself to get back into tip-top shape now that this pandemic's coming to an end. With the intro song, man, it's like, honestly, that intro like is perfect for this, right? And perfect for SMD because it doesn't matter. As long as the country is capitalist, it won't matter where SMD family member goes, as long as it's capitalist, because we know that if it's a capitalist economy, the majority must be in debt. That's all we need to know. We don't need to know anything else. Okay. And armed with welcome everybody, by the way, Aaron, Kenneth, Omanike, Mr. Big, what's going on? Yeah, that was me last summer. Okay. I'm not that cut right now today. That was just last summer. I mean, I'm not far off, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying I know what I look like when I want to look like whatever I want to look like. It's not only to inspire myself, but to inspire other people. I want young men to understand that don't let the other young men think things stop when you turn 50. I want you guys, that's a myth. Okay, that's not real. You can choose. It's just, you see the picture there? I chose to look like that at 50. Okay, that's what I chose. You don't believe your friends and TV and all that other stuff. You take care of yourself, your body can look the way you want it to look. But anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is LJ Young. I am the founder of SMD. Welcome. Usually I go through a long entry, but I'm gonna shorten that up. You guys have heard me long enough. I'm gonna just go right into it. Welcome to the channel, and I'm here to share a gift. All right, this is a 100% gift, and I'm here to share it with you. And that is the ability to see negative numbers psychologically. All right, that's the gift. Now, the majority of you might hear that and you're like, what does that mean? It's right. It's okay. I'll give you an example. I always like to give examples. Okay. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. Okay. Let's go for the Tesla owners. Say like you finance the Tesla. Okay. This is what I want you to do. I want you to open up your calculator app on your phone. I want you to put in your car payment minus your car balance and then hit equal. Okay. As you're looking at the calculator, I just want you to listen to the sound of my voice. Okay. The reason why you believe you're saving money on gas is because you cannot see negative numbers psychologically. You can obviously see them physically because you're looking at your calculator now. You get it? You're probably looking at the calculator. You know you're seeing negative numbers, but you still think you're saving money on gas. All right. That's because you cannot see negative numbers psychologically. Okay. And I'm just telling you the answer. That is the answer. Okay. I wanted you to know that before we go into this story. Okay. This video. And when I play it, I need you guys to give me some ones, make sure you can hear it right. But the link to the full videos and the details. Okay. Anyway, I am going to give you a perspective. Now listen to me closely. I am going to give you a perspective of this video that no one else on the internet will give you. Nowhere. You'll never find it anywhere in the world, whole wide world of the internet. Nobody will tell you this version of this story. Why? Because I can see negative numbers psychologically. So what I'm going to basically do is go through this video with you, but we're going to do it mathematically. Because always remember, if it doesn't make mathematical sense, it cannot make financial sense. It can't. That would go against all the laws of mathematics. Okay? All right. Now, another thing I like about this video is it's based in Seattle, Washington, where I grew up. I spent the first 50 years of my life in Seattle. I was born in Seattle. I didn't leave till I was like 49, 50. That's when I left. So the first 50 years. So I kind of have an idea where she's living, where she's at, things of that nature. Okay. So I can kind of give you an idea of are they really high? Is she talking about a high priced area? You know, I can see it where she's at. All right. But I'm also going to, like I said, I want you guys to follow me, mathematically speaking only. Okay. All right. Remember that. All right. So let me bring this video up. Chrome tab. Which one is it? Oh, woman class. There we go. All right, I'm gonna let it play first, and then I want you guys to let me know if you can hear it okay, because I don't want to go, because I'm not gonna be looking at the screen as I'm talking about. So let me play it first. Oop.
My name is Sylvia Hall. I'm an attorney in Seattle, Washington.
Give me a one if you can hear it
I'm
okay.
on the path to early retirement. My goal is to be able to retire at the end of this year. We'll see what happens. I learned my...
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna start it over. Okay. Now we're gonna walk through this video. And I really, if you guys can do this, okay, I want you to try your hardest to leave your feelings out of whatever I'm going to tell you, okay? And just look at the math, okay? When it comes to business, let me explain this to you. When it comes to business, as soon as you own yourself, you'll know to always never add your feelings when it comes to business, because that's like adding your feelings to math. Like adding your feelings to business is just like adding your feelings to, you're sad about 1 + 1 = 2, right? That just doesn't make any sense. I really don't like the way that feels. What makes you what feel? Well, I don't like the way 1 + 1 = 2 makes me feel. It makes me feel sad. You would think that person's crazy, right? That's how it is. Okay, so here we go.
My name is Sylvia Hall. I'm an attorney in Seattle, Washington.
Okay, so let's start out with this. Please do not. She says she's an attorney. Okay, now the first thing that's going to click in your brain is that you're going to think she can afford to do everything she's doing because she's an attorney. All right, that's how it works. All right, that's a myth. It doesn't matter. Her career, her saying her career doesn't matter. Okay, I want you guys to understand that it doesn't matter her career, but the majority of people that will hear that, they will think, now they will believe she can afford to do all this because she's an attorney. They don't tell you what kind of attorney. She could be a public defender. They don't make nothing. They don't make a lot of money. They're not telling you what kind of attorney she is. All right, let's just make sure that's clear. So don't automatically assume that she's making six figures. All right.
I'm on the path to early retirement. My goal is to be able to retire at the end of this year. We'll see what happens.
If she knew really about money, she would know exactly when she could retire. It wouldn't have to be a goal, really. You would already know. You could just say this plus this equals that. So I'm going to have this much money at that year. You know, it's not really difficult to do that. So when you say, hey, it's a goal of mine, well, so you're crossing your fingers about something. If you're crossing your fingers about it, that means you don't know. That's very bad. That's a very bad thing. Okay.
I learned my money goals the hard way. I graduated from law school in May 2005. I had just over $100,000 in debt. I took the bar in Louisiana, and the week after I started my first job, Hurricane Katrina came. The job said, we love you, you're more than welcome to come back, but the building's going to be closed for the rest of the year. So I found myself with six figures in debt, no real job at the time, and the student loan grace period was just about over. I had no ability to pay rent, and the landlord basically said, you need to get all of your stuff out. There was no such thing as renting a U-Haul. There was nowhere to donate everything, so I literally had to throw everything away. And I think that had a really profound effect on me, because when you're throwing away all these things that you've collected, you really realize, okay, I didn't need any of this stuff. So Hurricane Katrina was the real starting point of not accumulating so many things. I was beyond broke, and I just sort of had a moment where
Okay, when you listen to the story, you got to remember, don't add your feelings in there. Okay, they're adding these things to grab your feelings. That has absolutely nothing to do with what she's talking about. She wants to retire by 42. Let's just get to the point. All right, I'm not being heartless. I just want you guys to understand business. Okay, they're telling a big story to wrap you into it, to bring your feelings into this. It has nothing to do with that. That has nothing to do with her retiring. Okay.
I just said, you know what? I don't ever want to be this broke again. I moved to Seattle in 2008. When I thought about where I wanted to move, I wanted to focus on a city that had a growing economy, a state where there was no state income tax, and then no hurricanes.
Once you're out of debt, taxes don't matter. Okay. I want you to understand something. Once you're out of debt, you'll understand the true purpose of taxes. So it doesn't matter if one state has a certain state tax and the other one doesn't have a different. There's different things there. So it just doesn't matter. Okay. It doesn't. It just seems like it does, but it really doesn't, because you'll understand taxes are for you. Taxes can help you build wealth, right? You don't have to run from them. You don't have to cheat. You just stay out of debt and you'll see.
Welcome to my humble abode. I got it in.
She looked like she's living in I'm gonna just take a guess, like Capitol Hill area. So that's what it looks like, because it's very hilly over there. So She's living in a pretty expensive area. All right, just to make sure we understand that right off the bat.
In 2016 as a foreclosure. This place is 400 square feet and nobody else wanted it. So I got really lucky.
Okay, let's go through this list on the screen here, okay? So you guys can, and I want you to follow me mathematically. Okay. She purchase price is $208,000. Zero down payment means she financed the whole entire thing. 9 times out of 10, that's probably an FHA mortgage, a subprime mortgage. The bank understands that you can't buy a house. First of all, you cannot buy a house with a mortgage. Okay, let's get that straight. You cannot buy a house with a mortgage. And the only way to buy a house is in cash. So you come in and picking up a house, no money down, you're financing the entire thing. Now, the part where it didn't make sense to me is like they said refinance mortgage rate 2.5%. I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. If she just bought this place, why are you telling me about this refinance? That doesn't make any sense. She refinanced as soon as she bought it, which that means she took out even more money. She financed the whole thing, and then she refinanced it again to pull out equity. There's probably some equity in there because she bought it as a foreclosure, right? So the bank said, hey, since you bought it as a foreclosure, this is how they do it. Hey, since you bought it at foreclosure, you bought it for less than market value. That means you have equity. If you refinance the house, you can pull out all the equity and use it on you. That's exactly what they want you to do. They know, trust me, let me make sure you guys understand something. If you go to the bank and they finance the whole thing, they are going to financially abuse you. You think if you walk out believing you're a homeowner with absolutely no money down, they're going to financially abuse you. And that's what they're doing to her right here. So right now, she has $100,000 in student loan debt, and she just put herself into $208,000 more. She is $308,000 in the hole right now. Okay, let's just make sure that's clear.
FIRE is a movement. It technically stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. I really think about it more the FI instead of the RE, so the financial independence. It didn't seem like it was a viable option, but I figured, you know what, I'm just going to set up the plan. I'm going to automate it and then just not think about it. And I put myself on a very strict budget. And so what I did was allow myself $250 a month.
She is 308,000. Listen, okay, and I want you to understand something, okay? So you guys really understand what I mean. She doesn't have the ability to see negative numbers. If she did, she would know. She's talking about putting herself on a $250 a month, some kind of payment, whatever, right? She's over $300,000 in debt. She don't have 250 of anything to put anywhere. What she's saying makes no mathematical sense. None, zero.
That's the only amount that I kept. I basically was paid on the last day of the month, and on the first of the month, everything other than my $250 was diverted elsewhere. So every dollar had a home.
Now you see this list? Look at Sylvia's budget list, okay? Now I want you guys to look at this. $1,300 to a 401k. She thinks she's putting away $1,300 in a 401k. She thinks she's putting $417 into an IRA. She thinks she's paying that much per month on the student loan. She thinks she's paying. She's $308,000 plus the whatever she refinanced. I don't know if they're going to tell us about how much she refinanced and pulled out, but she's $308,000 in debt. If she could see negative numbers, she could clearly see that she's not putting any 401k money in there because she has no money. She don't have anything to put anywhere. She's in debt and she owns nothing. She believes she bought that condo or wherever she lives. She didn't buy it. She didn't put no money down. She doesn't own nothing.
The first real milestone that I got to was when I hit a net worth of 0. I have never been so excited to have 0 as a net worth. Gradually, I started getting raises, and I kept the same budget even after I got the raises. I kept my same car. My parents are always yelling at me about my.
She financed a condo for $208,000, and she thinks she has a net worth of 0. She doesn't. They're implying that she paid off her student loan debt of $100,000, right? But she forgot about the $208,000 plus the refinance. How much she pulled out? She's still almost $300,000 in debt, $350,000 in debt. But she thinks she's at a net worth of 0. No, she's not.
My car. I was able to keep going with that budget and actually save for an emergency fund. I eventually raised my discretionary spending to $300 a month. And then gradually, since I really started maxing out my 401k right after we came off the Great Recession, those are.
According to the laws of mathematics, you cannot max out a 401k if you have a mortgage. You can't do that. You can't do that. I'm going to say that one more time. If you have a mortgage, you cannot max out a 401k. That's impossible according to the laws of mathematics. That's impossible.
Accounts just took off on their own. Same with the Roth retirement account. And at that time, I had a taxable account for the surplus. It actually progressed to a point that I did eventually become financially independent.
Now look at the look how big the real estate equity piece is in that pie. You see that? You can't own the equity in a house that you didn't have the money to buy. Okay, that's it. Look how big that is. You can't do that. According to the laws of mathematics, you cannot own the equity in a house that you didn't have the money to buy in the first place. What are you talking about? You can't do that. You can, and when you have a mortgage, you cannot invest in a 401k or a Roth IRA because you have no money and because you have no cash. There's no cash there. See, that pie doesn't exist. HSA, you can't do none of that. That pie doesn't exist. That's for debt slaves. You see that? They're telling you that you can do all that stuff with negative dollars. No, you can't. You can't do that. That's impossible. You can't do that. But if you want to believe the pie, you go ahead and believe the pie.
So the plan was to spend about $150, and the total bill came to $155. And except for the perishables, that should last me about 2 to 3 months. So got Costco out of the way.
Look at her. See the way they show the receipt? Like she's saving money? She ain't saving no money. She has no money. She's not saving anything. She's not saving nothing. According to, you look at the calculator, remember, she just bought a place, $208,000, and she refinanced it. So it's probably like closer to $250. According to the calculator, that's negative $250,000. You ain't got no money to buy anything. What are you talking about? You ain't saving nothing.
I wrote down all of my expenses, and I really wanted to figure out how to chop each expense by 20%. Most people really focus on housing, cars, and food for their main expenses. But for me, the number one expense was taxes.
Let me make sure you guys understand something too here. If you're new to the channel, let me explain something to you. You cannot save money on taxes while being in debt. You can't. Doesn't matter what people tell you. It's totally up to you, but it's 100% impossible to save money on taxes if you're in debt. That's impossible. That's according to the laws of mathematics, not me. According to the calculator, you can't do that. You see that? It says it says tax laws allow rental property owners to depreciate the cost of residential buildings over 27.5 years and use the loss to cancel out income tax on rent and other earnings. You know who they're talking about? People that own the buildings. They're not talking to people with loans on buildings. They're talking about real business owners, the people that own the business without the bank's involvement. That's who that's talking about. Not talking to people that's paying mortgages and rents. They're not talking to you. You don't know you can't save money on taxes while being in debt at the same time. You can't do that.
My first real estate purchase was an out-of-state purchase, and turned that into a rental. And that was the first time where I was like, wow, okay, I get a property and someone else is paying for it.
Okay, that's what you think. So that's what she did. She refinanced. Listen, this is what she did. She didn't have no money to buy where she lives. So if she didn't have the money to buy where she lived, she sure in the hell didn't have the money to buy a rental property. So now she got 2 mortgages. She actually got 3, excuse me. She got a first on hers, and then she refinanced it, took out the equity out of that, which creates a second mortgage. So she got 2 mortgages on one house, and now she opened up a third. And don't get me wrong, and she borrowed money. She refinanced the house, borrowed even more money to put down to get a third mortgage. And now, so you add her house plus the equity plus the rental house, she's probably closer to almost $500,000 in debt now. And she thinks because she put a renter into the rental, she believes they're paying the mortgage. No, they're not. They're just, yeah, they're paying it. They're paying it for you. The bank don't care how many people you put in the middle as long as they get their money. And if you want to believe you're making money on something that you didn't even have the money to buy, that is your problem. And she bought this out of state, so that means she can't manage it. So now she got to spend money to some managing service to manage the building. She's not winning. I want you guys to clearly understand something. She is not winning. That's what all the debt slaves do. They think they can own stuff with no money. You can't do that.
Once I stop working, I plan to just live working.
She says with a fifth property, okay, she could reach her goal of $1 million in rental estate. She's gonna reach her goal of being $1 million in debt. That's her goal. And she really believes she bought all that stuff with no money of her own. None. Zero. She really believes she owns $1 million worth of real estate without using any money of her own. That's a trick, people. That's a if you want to believe that, you believe that. Right, Andre, with a personal guarantee, broke all through the veil, cut holes in it with a sword. It's just she don't know she owns nothing. But if you're watching this video and you're a debt slave, you think she does. You think she's a lawyer, she's smart. That's because you guys believe it has something to do with people's careers. It ain't got nothing to do with people's careers. Isn't this obvious?
Once I stop working, I plan to just live off of rental income, so I don't have to worry about, again, the Social Security taxes, etc.
She's planning to quit working and try to live off of things that she don't even own. Let me say that one more time. What her plan is, she just said it. Her plan is to quit working and live off the rental income from property she does not even own. It you don't even know what that means. You're basing your life on, listen, this is what she's doing. She's basing her life on other people and the bank. That's what she's basing her retirement on, the decisions between other people, the people that's going to be living in these properties, and the bank.
I can live virtually tax-free as long as I have that depreciation.
Again, let me tell you something. You cannot. She thinks that. I mean, it's going to look, let me make sure you guys understand something. Yes, it's going to look like that on paper. But when you do the same thing on a calculator, you're going to clearly see that something's wrong, because the calculator is going to show a big negative number, but on the paper it's going to look positive. Your equity, your net worth, everything's going to look positive, but then you're going to look at the calculator and be like, but according to the calculator, it says negative. I know. Yes, that's true. Yes. Which one are you going to believe? What you see on the paper or the calculator?
So basically for the next 20 to 27 and a half years, I can earn income without paying taxes on it if I stop working.
That's what she thinks.
So I have been searching for my
Oh, wait a minute. What did that say? Hold up. Sylvia bought one of her properties in, listen. Okay, listen how they said this, okay? Listen how they said this. Sylvia bought one of her properties in cash using a home equity line of credit. She bought one of her properties in cash with a loan? That doesn't even make any sense. That makes absolutely no sense. She didn't buy nothing in cash. Whose cash are you talking about? I already knew she refinanced her house to get, listen. The reason why I knew she refinanced her house to pull the equity out to buy the next property, because she didn't even have the money to buy where she's living now. She didn't have the money to buy it. Of course she took out another loan because she had no money in the first place. For her 5th unit, she is planning to take out a mortgage. Listen to this. She is planning to take out a mortgage, knowing she will likely be up against cash offers in the hot market. That don't got nothing to do with nothing. She is going to reach her goal of $1 million in debt. She is well on her way.
So I have been searching for my last property for a while now, and it has been such a roller coaster. The last rejection just came yesterday. I found on Redfin that another house that would be just as ideal came on the market. And so I reached out and left a message with the listing agent. So I've been on pins and needles ever since putting that offer in. A lot of people will hear my story and think, oh, she's an attorney, so that's different. Or I couldn't do that because.
See the way she said that? That's true. That's why they put her in there. So you guys it'll make that story more believable. As soon as you heard she was an attorney, you guys automatically assume 6 figures and she must make all this that's not true. Just because they're attorney, that means absolutely nothing. Did you guys know attorneys are the deepest ones in debt? Did you guys know that? They're one of the deepest careers in debt. They're the deepest. You guys be so focused on their salaries, they be sometimes triple that in debt. Their salary means nothing.
I don't have a down payment, but the methods that I use I couldn't do that because I don't have a down payment, but the methods that I use can be duplicated by anybody. There are various credit unions across the country, and most credit unions have some sort of either no down payment option or a low down payment option.
All the banks and credit, you guys think there's a difference between banks and credit unions? No, it's not. That's a trick. That's a trick. Banks, credit, same thing. It's all the same. If you walk in there talking about you want a property with no money, they're all going to give you a subprime mortgage, okay? They might compete with interest rates. That's about it. But they're all going to give you a subprime mortgage because debt slaves are the only ones that believe they can buy a house with a mortgage. You can't buy a house with a mortgage. She's like, anybody can do this. Yeah, the majority of the people are going to do that because the housing market couldn't exist if they didn't know that. If everybody knew that, the housing market couldn't exist.
And even if you don't have the money on your own, if you and a friend or you and a colleague are in the same boat, pool your resources together. If you are paying rent somewhere, there is a similar place that you can own and use the same.
See? You see how they use the words own? And if you're paying rent somewhere, people with mortgages don't know they're paying rent to the bank. See how they make people that pay rent. Here's the difference between regular renters and mortgage people with mortgages. Renters know they're renting. Okay. We know that we're renting. People with mortgages, they don't know that they're renting. That's the difference. And then that's why they always turn to you and say to you, "Oh, you're just throwing away money on rent." No, you're not. I'm not. I need a place to live. They just don't know they're throwing away money. They're throwing away even more money. People with mortgages, they throw away way more money than people that rent. They don't own nothing. The only thing, people with mortgage, they're loan owners. They're not homeowners. She keeps saying own. She don't own anything. She didn't have any money to buy it.
Strategy. If my plan goes well, I won't have to actually touch the invested accounts, and those will just continue to grow. And my plan is just to leave that to nieces and nephews, maybe my undergrad college. So I don't have any plans to use that money, but it's there as a.
She really believes, listen, she's almost $1 million in debt. And she really believes she's saving money. She really believes it. You can't say, hey, listen, you can't save money if you're $1 million in debt. That's impossible. You cannot do that.
Fail safe. The reason why is because I really feel like I have been the most fortunate person ever. I've got plenty if I can just live off the rental income, and that's enough for me. I've always had a pretty firm sense of enough. And so if I can make it so that the next generation of my family doesn't have to start from scratch, if I can leave that legacy to them, then that's more than worth it to me. That's certainly worth more than anything.
Oh, God. Hey, E-Man, that's a shirt right there. That's a shirt. The L is silent. Like when debt slaves say own. I like that, man. When debt slaves say own, the L is silent. I like that. That's a shirt. I like that. That is funny as hell. That's perfect. That is perfect. I like that. She's talking about leaving a legacy. She's going to teach her. Listen, and and I want you guys to clearly understand something, okay? I want you to understand it. I'm not calling this woman dumb. I'm not saying she's an idiot. I'm not saying she should know better. I'm saying she's running the program. What's the program? Not trusting the calculator. That's what people are doing. They can't, and what it really is, I keep saying, they cannot see negative numbers psychologically. If they could, they would know that they don't own any. You can't own anything with a mortgage. No, you can't. You have a mortgage because you didn't have the money to buy it. That's why you have a mortgage. You will know it doesn't take 30 years to pay off one house. No, it doesn't. Who told you that?
Thing I can spend that money on.
So I get another offer in for all cash, pretty close to what you're doing, but I think he's leaning towards still taking yours, but I'll keep you in the loop for sure. Okay.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Bye.
Oh.
The banks own her. Look at her. She got a big smile on her face, and she's like, oh, it's a Sylvia beat an all cash offer and closed on her 5th and final property in July. As with the others, she plans to manage it herself to save money. The banks own her. It will take $1 million. Listen, it will take $1 million to get the bank out of her life. It's going to take $1 million to get the bank out of her life. No, it's going to be more than that. Trust me, way more than $1 million. If she ever wanted to own those properties that she thinks she owns today, it's going to take $1 million. 1 million. You think she's going to come up with $1 million? No, because she thinks she's saving money. She thinks she's putting the money away in 401ks and other investments. She's not doing nothing. Now, in the bigger scheme of things, it must be this way. I want you guys to clearly understand it. It has to be this way. I think that's it. Listen to the music. Listen to the music. It's all cheery. I want you guys to understand something. It must be that way. Nobody's going to review a video like that because there's hardly anybody that can see. Now, let me make sure I'm not the only one. Okay. Yeah, I know you guys come over here. You guys, oh, LJ said he's the only one that can see this and that. No, I said I just discovered it. So that means somebody else designed it. Of course not. If my eyes just opened up and I'm able to see it, that means it was already here. And now that I can see it, yeah, it's been here the whole time. So somebody designed it. So no, I'm not. Of course not. I'm not the only one. It must be that way. The majority of you guys must do videos like she did. Hey, look what I can do with no money. That whole video is to show you guys, hey, look what I can do with no money of my own. None of that is true. You can't do that. You can't do that. When you guys say other people's money, like all you debt slaves say that. That's what they want you to say. Do you know that, debt slaves? They want you to use other people's money. You guys are the only ones that don't realize you have no money. Of course you got to use other people's money. You have none. Why do you think you're making car payments? Because you have no money. Why do you think you're making payments on a cell phone? Because you have no money. Why do you think you're making mortgage payments? Because you have no money. Student loan payments, credit card payments, payments for collection payments, whatever, right? Because you have no money. That's why you're making payments. Now, the average debt slave that watches that video, you guys will think to say, "Oh man, if she can do it, I can do it." Yes, you can. Anybody can do it. The better the credit, the deeper in debt you can go. With the better credit. She don't know the banks own her. She don't own nothing. The banks own her. The banks own her. Oh, use other people's money. Man, debt slaves have no idea they have to do that. You have no money? She said, no, her tenants owe the million. I'm sure their names are on the paperwork somewhere. Debt slaves are the assets. And I want you guys to understand this gift. My gift is that, long story short, I trust the calculator. That's what it is. And if I trust the calculator, that means since the calculator is never wrong, that means I'm never wrong if I trust the calculator. And out of the two of us that you're listening, if you don't trust the calculator, that's your problem. Right? That's according to the laws of mathematics. If you don't trust the calculator, that's your problem. But videos like that, but commercials like that, all that's on that. It has to be that way. Okay. It is. I'm not. I know you got. Let me understand. I want you guys. I'm not against this video. There must be videos like that showing you a single woman with no money that can acquire all that with no money. That's important for you to believe that, because the majority must believe that. It's all a choice. You choose to trust the calculator or not. That's if you don't, that's the economy is against you. That's it. The economy goes according to the laws of mathematics. That's how it works. And if you don't believe 1 + 1 = 2, well, I guess that's your problem. That's your problem. If you think 5 - 10 is 5, that's your problem. That's your problem. Exactly, Andre. It's great advertisement. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I watched that video, being from Seattle, they showed the best parts of Seattle. The new building, new high rises that's going up in all the new areas. Showed you all the best parts. Hey, yeah. So you guys would see that area and say, well, of course she can live there. She's an attorney. That's all for you guys to just believe that. She's all big smiles on the phone with a real estate agent, thinking she's gonna beat a cash offer with her finance loan money. No, you're not. No, you're not. Don't ever believe that. Ever believe that your FHA mortgage loan is gonna outbid a cash buyer. That's not gonna happen. She got that because somebody didn't want it. Again, I'm gonna repeat it to you. If you go get a property with no money, they're gonna financially abuse you. The banks are. You're gonna financially abuse yourself. Space Needle pipe dream sure is. Man, let me tell you something. It's different. When I got out of debt, okay. The best way I can say it is this: when you get out of debt, and then you have the ability to see negative numbers psychologically. I didn't know the name of it at that particular time, but you look at the whole business world different. You start looking at how long they've been in business, how big they are, how many people they employ. Man, you really start to pay attention to all that stuff because it's very important. So when I used to go to the Space Needle Eat, right, which is a landmark. So of course you're gonna pay some extra money, and I mean, but you get the service. The service is nice up there, right? But then you start to look at how long it's been in the family, right? Do they actually own the Space Needle, or like no loan on it or anything? You know what I'm saying? And they owned it for many years. I'm assuming that they owned it, because people, when they hear own, they think own means that they own it with making payments. No, I mean own it with no payments. You start just thinking just different. The whole world is different. Especially the business world, that's all changed. You look at taxes differently. You realize that you can't be in debt and save money on taxes. I learned that. Without even knowing that before I left my last job. I learned that. Because before I left my last job, I became debt free for a year, and I still continued to have a job, right? But at that time, this is the weird thing. I remember one time I had just broke the 6-figure mark, right? So I had a certain amount of money on a check, and then I got a raise, which took me over 6 figures, right? I was so happy. I was really excited to see the next check because I was thinking, man, I'm finally at 6 figures. My check is going to be fat, right? And then when I got it, it was less than the check before with the lower raise, right? And I was like, what that makes no sense. Why would my check be less? That's when I started learning about tax brackets. I didn't know about that. I broke through a tax bracket, right? And I was like, what the hell is a tax bracket? And then I learned that, right? When I learned that, I was like, wait a minute. Okay. I said to myself, oh, wait a minute. If I put in, now I'm debt free and I can afford to do this, right? I said to myself, wait a minute, if I put in $19,000 into my retirement account, my 401k, right? It would lower me $19,000 in my tax bracket, which would bring me back down to the previous tax bracket, paying less in taxes. Even though I got a raise, I'd still be paying less in taxes because I dropped it down there too, because I invested into the 401k. And I said, wait a minute. Not only do I get to save money on taxes, I get to actually put that same $19,000 into my retirement account at the same time. That's like double dipping, right? But I couldn't do that before, because when you're in debt, here I am making six figures. When I was deep in debt, the thought of maxing out a 401k was like insanity. I don't have $20,000 just to put into a retirement account. Of course not when you're in debt. But once I got out of debt, I was like, holy I can do what? And then I did that. And I remember I raised it that 1 year all the way to the max. HR called me on the phone and said, hey, Mr. Young, did you raise your 401k to the full max? I was like, yeah. They was like, oh, okay, we thought you made a mistake. But now I realize, because people don't do that. That's why they called me. Probably nobody in the company actually did that. And here I am out the blue. Now, I worked for the company like 5 or 6 years, never did that. And then this 1 year I maxed out the 401k. They're like, what the hell? Yeah, he made a mistake. And then I said, yeah, I did that. They was like, do you know how much money that's going to come out each check to do that? I said, yeah, I do. They was like, okay. Now that I'm outside the debt matrix, I now know why they called me, because nobody does it. They can't afford to do it. People are at work because they have to work, not because they want to work. Wherever you work, ask your coworker, hey man, do you love it here? Just help. Sorry. Go to the mirror and say, do I love my job? Then why am I, if I don't love it, why am I here? Because you have to be there, because you got car payments. You're there. You know why you're there at that job you hate? Because that new iPhone 13 you got in your hand, that's why you're there at a job you hate. That's it. That's what you're making payments on a cell phone. That's why you're there at the job you hate. Because if you didn't do that, you wouldn't have to be there. You don't have to work at places you hate. If your boss is treating you like shit, you know why they're treating you like shit? Because that car outside. You know that brand new car you got? Yeah, that's why your boss can talk to you like shit. That's why they can have you guys working for free, having you work off the clock. They probably have you working off the clock all the time. When you get out of debt, that shit is not allowed. When you get out of debt, you have a job, and some boss, some person, company try to say, hey, mandatory overtime, or you're going to be doing this off the clock. You would turn to them and say, I'm not a slave. What do you, hold up, let me, you know what I would say? Let me turn my recorder on, okay? Now tell me what you want me to do again. You want me to work for free? Let me record this. You saying that to me. Because I can't believe you're saying it to me. That's against the law. I don't work for free. But when you got $1 million of real estate over your head, yes, you are. You're going to be working for free for the rest of your life. You guys better stop thinking about that other people's money. That's the bank want you to use their money. That's who, you know who's other people's money? That's the bank's money. If you didn't use their money, they wouldn't make any money. So when you're one of those debt slaves walking around talking about other people's money and you got student loan debt, that's why you're using other people's money, because you have no money. Because if you had money, you wouldn't have student loan debt. People with money don't have personal debt. Now you're probably thinking, well, no, Robert Kiyosaki talk about debt, and that they're not talking to you. That's different. That's very different. Yeah, they're using debt, yes, for business, yeah, but not like you. If you don't even own the business of you, they're not talking to you. But again, videos like that, those are on purpose. Those are needed. I'm not against any of that stuff. That to tell you the truth, that video was very well done. They picked the right person, black, single woman, attorney, whatever you guys want to hear. It's perfect. It's actually perfect. Very well spoken. Hey, she's out there running and living her nice little place, and whatever. Play the right music, and she's smiling, and hey, she got $1 million in debt, and she's smiling. What? There ain't nothing to smile about, but hey, according to the video, yes, it is. It's cool. The younger you're hearing this, I hope the younger, hey man, don't fall into the debt matrix. That's the debt matrix. The younger you are, you guys are the prey. I want you guys to understand that. You guys are the next generation of debt slaves. Of course you are. Everybody dies. Everybody's human, wealthy, poor, we all die. It doesn't matter. Everybody needs to be replaced. So I'm here to help wake up the people that's going to understand money and control, because debt slaves cannot be left unattended. You guys would fuck it all up. You can't be left unattended. You guys don't know about money, taxes, and you don't even know nothing. You cannot be left unattended. That would be disastrous. Keep you guys looking at shiny things and green pieces of worthless paper. That's all we got to do. The shinier, the better. You guys get on it today. It don't even have to. It don't even have to shine. All they got to do is put numbers up on the screen. Hey, Bitcoin 61,000. You guys just believe that bullshit. You never stop and say, where are those numbers coming from? Who said that? Who's that? Who's making up those numbers? Who's putting those up there? Google? Who's doing that? You guys don't question nothing. Google is just a big collaboration of all you guys' thoughts and what you guys think and all that bullshit. And you guys just Google it and say, hey, well, that's the answer. Yeah, well, if you believe it. You think Google had any answers for you for what I talk about? Not at all, because it's never even asked. You guys don't even know you're debt slaves. How you gonna know to ask the question? You don't even, first you gotta know you're a debt slave first. But the more people that do it like this woman in this video, you guys will just keep on believing. All they got to do is, most of these people on YouTube, they just got to show you some shiny cars and some tell you the car costs this much. And yeah, and the car costs that much to all the people who believe it costs that much. Oh man, that's the new Ferrari Spider. It's worth this and that. Says who? Ferrari? Who said that? Well, I don't agree with Ferrari. I don't think they built that one car for $500,000. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. But Ferrari says, hey, we took years to build our name. We got plenty of people that believe it. All right, whatever, Ferrari. Congratulations to you. I knew that's some hard ass work. No different than Gucci. If Gucci can make a belt for $100 and sell it for 1,500, hey, congratulations to Gucci. Kanye's all over that. You see what Kanye doing, what the white people doing, all over it. Taking some worthless ass shoes and making millions. It don't cost that much to make one pair of shoes. Who told you that, Kanye? Congratulations, Kanye. Congratulations. I ain't hating. That's business, baby. That is business. That's hard work. You know how hard, you guys don't even realize how hard a work it is to get people to believe a belt could be worth $2,000. One purse could be worth $20,000. You know how hard a work that takes? You know what, to get people to buy their stuff like that, you know what companies like that have really done? Let me tell you what they've really done. They didn't go after the money, they went after the trust. They earned people's trust. That's why people pay that kind of money to Gucci. Because they earn their trust. Let me give an example of what I mean by trust, right? Say like you went in and you bought a $20,000 Chanel purse. Okay? Some expensive, crazy purse, right? You bought it. You didn't even open it. You took it right out the store and then you put it up on eBay. You think you're gonna get exactly what you get what you paid for the purse at Chanel? No, and you didn't even touch the purse. You put it in the list, "Hey, I just bought it. I didn't even open it. I didn't touch it. I didn't breathe on it. This is how much I want." They're not gonna pay you that. You know why? Because they trust Chanel, not you. That's why they can charge that because they trust them. This is what SMD does. I earn people's trust. I show you that I'm different and I back it up with mathematics. It's not something that I just feel or that I'm just it's my ideology or my theory. People always say it. I'm thinking, no, it's none of that. It's mathematics. I can show you. SMD will be here 10 years from now. The majority of people that you see on YouTube, they're not going to be here in 5 years. Their content, listen, their content most definitely will not be worth anything in 5 years. The content that they're creating today, the content I create will always be valid till the end of time. You understand? My content will be valid till the end of time. It will be valid 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. It will be always be valid. You know why? Because math doesn't have an age limit, time limit, whatever math is timeless. 1 + 1 = 2 before I was born. 1 + 1 will equal 2 well after I'm dead. Now I'm here to I really am here to just to share my gift. I really am, right? Change your life because if you're successful, it makes me successful. Your growth helps me grow. That's how it works. And once you cross over here, you understand there's plenty of room. Okay, let me give you an example of plenty of room so you can understand. Jeff Bezos is worth billions. He's one per and I know company him. I'm gonna just use him as example and time to the company for this as example. Okay. That's one person. Doesn't that s- doesn't that just say, hey, there's plenty of room for you too, if you just figure it out? Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, they got billions. That says don't be jealous that they got that much money. Just say that means there's plenty of room for me. Yes, that's it. There's plenty of room. They're not holding you back. There's plenty for everybody. Why would they care? There needs to be people to replace the people that understand the money, how money works. Because the majority in all capitalist economies must be debt slaves. They must be. They don't know their whole life is a mathematical illusion. They don't know, and they don't know by choice that nobody's doing anything to anybody. You either trust the calculator or you don't. If you don't, that's your problem. Now, when you get out of the debt matrix, uh, I can see pretty much almost. I can see a lot now. Okay, and I see which businesses are financially abusing you. It's pretty bad. It is bad, but it's if it long as it's legal, hey, they just do what they do. The earning app, buy now, pay later, stuff like that. That's for people that don't know. Stuff like that, that's for debt slaves, okay? That's debt slaves. People that believe they own houses with mortgages and they can buy property with credit cards and stuff like that. That's for debt slaves. Now, if this is you and you tired of it, man, tonight's your night to get some answers because it's going to it'll answer all your problems. Debt causes stress. And when you have no debt, you have no stress. You tired of living like that, paycheck to paycheck, and then you got to get a loan to cover another loan. Hey, if you're in this cycle, paycheck to paycheck, and loans to cover other loans, uh, you better stop. This is the way out right here. If you want to stop that, you think that's life and it's been your life all your life. I'm telling you, that's not life. No, it's not. That just means you don't own yourself. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're living paycheck to paycheck because you don't own yourself. And if you don't know what I mean by own yourself, log into your online credit report, look inside, skip over your credit score, and look inside your credit report. Yeah, those are all your owners. Those are all the people that own you until they get their money back. That business loaned you some money in some form or fashion, and they said, hey, if we loan you this money, you're going to pay it back to us, right? Yeah, okay. Well, you got to pay it back. Instead, you guys are on YouTube searching for how to get debts wiped off my credit report and how to go, try to say I didn't pay that or said that's wrong or whatever you guys be thinking of to try to get debt removed from your credit report. Only debt slaves do that. Try to get rid of stuff that they know they owe. When you do that, that says more about you than anything. Think about it this way. If you created a business and you gave somebody one of your products or something on credit and you said, hey, I'll let you take my product and as long as you make, and they just stop, would you like that? Then why would you do that to another business? Why would you do that? You see what I'm saying? That's how it works. You don't have to live like that. Bill collectors after you. Those are the hound dogs of the owners. The bill collectors, those are the hound dogs of the owners of the businesses that you took money from. They send those hound dogs after you to debt slaves. You guys worried about the bill collection? Oh man, they're not supposed to call you after 6 and all these laws. Just stay out of debt. You won't have to worry about bill collector laws because that will no longer be your world. You have to be part of that world. That's the world of the debt slaves. Changing phone numbers and avoiding phone numbers that come across your phone, and because it's a bill collector and you can't do this and you're scared of the mailbox. That's debt slave. That's debt slave talk. That's debt slave life. And you do something like this in this video, in this video that I showed earlier, $1 million in debt, you're gonna be a slave until you're dead. Listen, she had over $100,000 in student loan debt. She paid that off, traded the $100,000 for $1 million of debt. What's up, Atticus? What's going on, sir?
I'm very good, LJ. How you doing, my bro?
I'm good. How are you?
Listen. LJ, you see what you're telling me right now? You would not understand how many people are out here kicking and thrashing and they're in pain. They're in pain, LJ.
Yeah, this
It's
is a bad time
amazing.
right now. It's a very bad time.
It's amazing, LJ. Listen, as an alien, it's very interesting to watch, but it's far more interesting to try and insulate yourself from the chaos. It really is. From work to the street to interpersonal relationships, it's amazing to watch, LJ.
It looks like a very well orchestrated play to me. It's like I have to 100% respect it the way they do it. I mean, you just have to respect how they do it. It's amazing to watch.
No, I hear what you're saying, but LJ, it's lonely at the top, isn't it?
I mean, I would, I wouldn't say that. I mean, you hear that, but it's because if you get, it feels like that because you're losing the people that don't understand on your way to the top. It feels like you're lonely, but you're just making room for people that understand.
Well, I hope these people that understand who are around me show themselves because it seems that everybody's a slave around me, bro.
Well, they're the majority. All right. So you're going to have to learn how to, like me, I had to accept that the majority are dead slaves. You have to accept that. Right. And then I just went more into myself. Right. It's weird. It's like when I came into myself, now that I know me, I emit a different kind of energy because everywhere I go, people they just want to talk to me all the time. All the time want to talk to me. Right. Once you come into that, man, you just won't really care about that kind of stuff, especially if they're dead slaves.
Andre, in the chat, please join in. Lessons Burn, join in. I want to talk to family right now. LJ, all I'm saying is this. We as a species were never meant to be on our own. But it seems, I don't know, maybe it's the UK. You guys in America, you're like, I think 7 times our population over here.
Oh
There's a
wow,
lot of you.
I didn't know that. Wow, okay.
I think it's about 400 million of you, or close to 400 million, right?
I don't know. I've never looked it up.
The UK is about 65 million. It seems that everybody's a slave around me, Andre. Everybody's a slave around me, LJ.
Well, it's a capitalist economy. UK and US is capitalist economies.
I agree, but you have to understand. It's like I'm human. Yes, yes, we say we're alien, whatever, but it's relative to the subject. But I'm a human being. You can't, even at work. Do you know, for example, LJ? I'm looking to move on to other things, right?
Okay.
Remember, I told you I'm studying for other things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned it to someone, and the reaction I got, oh my God, LJ. The reaction I got was like, you think you're better than us. You think you're better than this and that. How dare you? Like, why don't you hurry up and go?
That was the look on their faces.
No, someone actually said this
Oh.
passive aggressively.
Oh, okay. All right. But you know that meant for real.
Of course I did.
Yeah.
But the
Wow.
reaction, because I don't think like that, LJ. If you told me, LJ, for example, let's say you and I work together, we have the same position, etc. Okay, and you told me, okay, Atticus, I'm doing this and this, and I'm hoping to go here. My reaction would be, I hope you get there, and I wish you the best. That's my personal reaction.
Right.
I would never turn around and say, well, hurry up and go.
Well, you gotta once you really gotta understand they're just mad because they can't do it and they feel stuck and they don't know they trapped
Isn't it
themselves.
sad?
It's
Yes, isn't it
it's
sad
sad,
though,
but it's a
LJ?
necessity. The majority must believe that a job is the only way to live.
My God, brother, LJ, I call you big bro. You're not my uncle. You're not that old enough to be my uncle. Big bro.
Right.
I'm telling you. Some of these people have been there for 16 years.
Oh
International minded, my
man.
brother. I'm glad you're here. But LJ, some of them have been there for 16 years. Lessons burn, my bro. 16 years. It's like,
Yeah.
are they serving time for murder?
I'd never stayed at a job that long. Something inside of me would always twitch every 5-6 years. I would have to go somewhere else. I just couldn't stay at a job that long. No way.
I want to hear from my family. Whoever goes first goes first. I want to hear from the family.
Yeah, Freedom Queen, you got up in here first, so go ahead.
Hey, hello everybody.
Hello.
Hey, Freedom Queen, how you doing?
Okay, nice to see and hear everybody. I've been away for a while, just working on things after I had my initial session with LJ, and a bunch of things have turned around for me positively, and I've
Clap,
just
clap,
been
clap,
kind of
clap, clap,
chilling.
clap, clap.
Yeah, I've been chilling and just enjoying the new flow, and still got some things down the pike that I'm working on.
Can you tell us a little bit about what's changed, Freedom Queen, from your consultation from LJ? Just you don't have to go into detail, but whatever you're comfortable with, just tell
Oh,
us how things have changed.
yeah, sure. And thanks for asking. So, um, where shall I start? Because it's been quite a few different things.
Anywhere you want to start, anywhere, Freedom Queen, you're free. Remember, your name is Freedom Queen.
Yes, it is. Or Queen Freedom. So, let's see. Um, I know I used to have a lot of trouble on my job. I used to just allow abuse and craziness all the time. Um, and couldn't really figure out why. Um, and so I've been listening
Hmm,
to Savings Minus Debt for all of most of 2020 and
good,
2021, so around about 2 years now. So I've learned quite a bit,
good.
but it just kind of freed me up and helped me get a backbone and not have to take so much stuff off of people at the job, and being debt free, just adds even more freedom to that.
That's
So,
very good.
Wow, congratulations.
yeah, thank you.
Freedom Queen, just mute the YouTube behind you. Mute the YouTube and you can speak freely.
Yeah, because we're hearing feedback. So when he's talking, can you mute Freedom Queen?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was off. I don't have anything else on.
Well, let me see. Test,
Okay.
test. Yeah, we're still in. We're hearing feedback. So if you can mute your mic.
Mute, yeah, no. Mute the YouTube.
Wait
Oh,
a
Keep
are
the
you
minute.
watching on
StreamYard.
YouTube?
Mute the YouTube.
Yeah, I found it. Okay. Is that better?
Test.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah.
No, we can still hear
No,
you.
you can just mute the mic. Just mute the mic.
Yes, yes, yes. Mute the mic.
Here, I'll do it. Oh, there she goes. She got it. Okay. Go ahead. Who's up next?
Lessons.
Yo, what's good?
What's going on, sir?
What's good, my bro?
What's good, Atticus? Talk to you in a
Jesus
minute, but
Christ. Be kind, never nice.
you already know. What yeah, everything been good, bro?
Listen, my bro, I've been blessed, but I had to talk to LJ today. I came across I know. LJ, I know what you're telling me, my bro, but I had to speak to you, my big bro. Lesson. You there, Lesson?
Yep.
I'm speaking to you, my bro. By the way, Lesson, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
29.
29. I'm 35 in November. Okay? So it come in like you're the young bro, I'm the middle bro, LJ's the big bro. No disrespect to anybody. I love you all. You're my family. Lesson. I'm telling you, my bro. I've come across some people to listen. I know I should know better, my bro. But this shit, I'm sorry, LJ. I didn't mean to swear. But this thing still surprises me. How people can, you Americans call it hate, but how people can have such venom, such
Vitriol.
say it again. Say that word again, please. Listen.
That's that vitriol, man.
Vitriol. When a man tries to make something of himself and they just project.
Yeah.
I'm trying
That's
to
called
work.
the tragedy of the commons.
Oh
That's what
my
they call
God.
it.
Where did you get that? Sorry, say that again. Tragedy of the Commons. Where did you get that?
I
I
don't
want
know.
to
It's just
read
a
it.
colloquialism here. I mean, I'll probably have to look it up or something. I'm not sure exactly where it comes from, but
Tragedy of the Commons. That, listen,
yeah,
that
it's pretty
sounds
much
so
it's like the
profound.
crab. Yeah, it's like the crabs in a bucket thing. You know, one
No,
crab
no,
tries to
no.
get out the
But
bucket, the other one's pull it
but
down. But
listen. You and I, because I started my channel, okay? You and I have to talk, as well as it's international minded, because I read a lot and I have to understand where that comes from. The tragic
yeah,
of the
I'm like you
commons.
too. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about it now too. I can look it up real quick.
And it's like, I cannot understand why human beings, certain human beings, can take the position that they do when they see another human being try to better themselves. I can't understand that. I can't wrap my head around it. Is it just plain old envy, the green-eyed monster? Are we that base? Did we not evolve above that? Are we that primitive still? And I'm speaking in general, humanity in general. Because I can't understand. If LJ told me, Atticus, I'm going to take this thing to the moon. I'm going to have 1 million subscribers. I'm going to help 1 million souls on this planet. Plus, there's nothing in my fiber, nothing in my being, nothing in my blood that would turn around and say, who do you think you are? You think you're better than us? Why don't you just sit down and be normal? There's
Well, 'cause
nothing
you know
inside
what it
me
is,
that would
man?
make me say that.
You got to grasp at that it must be that way. The majority must think and talk like that. That's important.
Yeah, there's a few things I want to add there.
Yeah.
Let's start first with you don't go to a
I got
strip
love
club
for
to
you, my
find a
brother.
wife.
International. You and I got to do a show together. I got love for you. I'm sorry to interject, but I got so much love for you, my bro.
Yeah, no problem. You let me know and I'll be there. But getting back to what I was saying, you don't go to a strip club to find a wife or a husband. So you have to be very careful who you're talking to. The next thing is that you can't expect to vibrate at the same frequency with someone who's not your peer. That actually makes it your fault. If you're expecting someone who's not your peer to be on your same wavelength, to have the same values, that's a flaw for you, not for them.
Right.
They're
Right.
doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Tell
The
me
third
again.
thing,
Tell me again. I need to hear that, please.
when you're dealing with someone, you have to first verify that they're similar views, similar beliefs. You have to be on the same page on generating a problem, because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Actually, that behavior you're witnessing is the behavior that they're supposed to have.
Default setting.
The program.
It's a requirement. It is actually a requirement for everything
Yeah.
to work.
That's deep.
So
That's deep.
So now let's go further to that. You being a farmer, you know that you can't just drop your seeds anywhere, right? If you want to have a healthy harvest, you have to make sure it's on fertile ground, right?
Yes, including the climate, including the like you said, fertile ground, the climate, the season, the temperature. Oh my God.
Yeah, you
International.
got.
Just talk. I'm sorry. I'm not going to interrupt you again. Talk.
So, you have, like I was saying, you have the weeds growing in. You gotta get the weeds out. You gotta make sure it's watered, and it can't be watered too much or too little. So, an analogy of that in your case would be, you would have to be building relationships with people who are, for example, probably in business of some sort, professionals, but more so the business. But what you haven't realized yet, Atticus, is that you have the mind of a business person, and you keep talking to employees. They're not your peer.
Perfect. Yeah, I like that. Perfect.
So you're going to have,
Be brutal.
you're
Be
actually
brutal. Be
creating the problem. The problem that you're experiencing, you are the one creating it. What you need to do is come out of work, join a local business web network place, and I guarantee you will find people that are more on your wavelength. Now, it's not guaranteed, because I can tell you, doing what I do, it's still a pretty large percentage of business owners that have the same sort of slave mentality. But yeah, I think that you're just looking in the wrong place. You're looking for the right thing in the wrong place, is all.
Story of my life.
And I think if you were to join like a business meetup or something like that, and start rubbing elbows with it, because the problem is that the people you're talking to, the people you're engaging with at work, if it's anything but work, you're wasting your time, because they're not your peers. They actually aren't. And the thing is, you haven't realized that yet. This is where the problems come. You haven't realized that, okay, I'm actually more a business-minded person, and I'm talking to employees. So it's just not going to work. You guys aren't talking at the same wavelength at all.
International. I have nothing to hide. What you just said, it hit me at my core. You and I have to speak separately, if you accept.
Yeah, no problem.
Now I know who you are to a certain degree. I hit you up on Instagram, because you're on Instagram, right? You sent me that message. Is that you?
Yeah, I don't really do anything there, though.
I understand, but was it you that sent me the message on Instagram?
Yes.
I'll hit you up separately. You and I have to talk, because
Sure, no problem.
international.
What's the matter, Atticus? You're in shock. You're in shock or something. You're at loss for words.
My bro. Listen, I don't want to go into it right here, right now, but I've seen a lot of things. I've survived a murder, attempted murder, because I'm still here. I've got the scars to prove it. And yet, I do not allow anything to stop me. But just hearing someone say that's stronger than a bullet. It's stronger than a bullet. I don't know where to go from here. All I want is, if you accept, sir, I want to speak to you separate from this. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to prove. I'm not LJ. I told you, I'm not part of this manosphere thing. It's not about showing off. I have what I have, and I'm comfortable with it. I'm looking for individuals on this planet. That I can interact with. That eventually, the way I was raised, when I have my children, people I can leave my children around. People who feel they can leave their children around me, because I'll never harm them. Ever.
Right.
That doesn't cross my mind. This is madness we're living in. It's insanity.
Okay, well, hold up, Atticus. Listen, man. Listen, that's an illusion. Okay, you don't have to live there. Okay, you don't have to be sucked in like, oh my God, it's crazy. Yeah, it's supposed to be like that. Okay, but you don't have to live there. You can live here. Right, that stuff you see, that's maybe because you're just coming out of it. Maybe you're kind of like, oh my God, it's just crazy. But once you get out of it, you're like, oh, okay, all right, this just got to be that way. That's it.
LJ.
Yeah, he's still in that transition process.
Yeah, you
No,
sound like
He's
you're in the
still transitioning.
correct.
no,
You're
it's
Like
not.
very
Atticus,
you're
No,
very
my
emotional.
brothers. Sorry, lessons. I'll let you speak right after this. I'm just saying, I came out of it a long time ago, but events keep happening that keep bringing me back to that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because once nothing can bring. I'm just saying this. Nothing can bring me back. See what I'm saying? There's nothing that can happen that can bring me back. If it's still bringing you back, that means you still stuck or something. You know what I'm saying?
No, I freed myself the other day. My younger brother told me something that really
No, I'm going
broke
by
my
what
heart.
I'm going by how you're sounding and what you're saying to me. I'm not, you said you freed yourself a long time ago. I'm just saying what you're saying right now. That's all I'm saying. I'm going by what you're describing and feeling.
Agreed. I'll listen. I'm not going to speak anymore. Just. I'm
And
going
it's
to
hard. I
listen.
mean, it's hard to hear yourself. Don't get me wrong. It's you sound like you're still there. You're back and forth. Because once you're out, you're out. There is no going back. Nothing
It's not
will.
even about debt anymore, LJ.
Huh?
It's not even about debt because that one I've internalized it. Your
Well, no, debt
message
for me,
is a
I'm
part of
saying
my
debt
blood.
allowed me to own myself. Right now that I own myself, I have the ability to remove anything I don't want, and that's what I've done. Right? It's debt is just the first piece. First, before I can do anything, I had to own myself first. That's first. I can't do anything if I don't own myself. Once I own myself, now I can do anything I want, including not letting anything negative into my life. Period.
Yeah, I would agree with that. What Atticus is experiencing is because he's still employed. He doesn't have debt, but he's still employed doing something he doesn't want to do. And I don't mean the job.
Yes.
I mean what he's not following his purpose. This is the
Gotcha.
problem.
Yeah.
And the thing is that once you realize, but this is part of the whole process. And part of it is like, drug addict coming off of drugs, you can't hang out with
Right.
your druggy friends. You
Right.
just can't.
Right.
It's a perpetual, it's painful. It's extremely painful for
Good
yourself.
analogy, man. I
And
like that one.
also for the people that you're around, because addicts don't want a straight person around them. They want another addict around them that's vibrating at the same level, but you're at a different level now. So whatever you're doing now, you're not going to be happy because it's not aligned with your purpose. This is the problem.
And guess what? It pays me well.
The pay doesn't
more
matter.
than the average.
The pay doesn't matter.
The pay doesn't
Exactly.
matter.
Thank you, gentlemen. It pays me more than the average person. Thank you very much for saying that, gentlemen. I actually make more than the average person in the United Kingdom.
Well, see the way you
I'm
keep
tired of this shit.
Listen, Atticus, see the way you keep saying that? You keep saying I make more than the average. Money doesn't have anything to do with it. That's what we're trying to say to you. You don't know that you're doing that. I'm just saying something to you that you're doing that you probably don't know that you're doing.
I agree with you.
Because once you understand, money doesn't exist. So when you talk about it like that, that tells me that you don't know that money doesn't exist.
Go deeper, please. Say that again to me so I can absorb it.
What you're running is the program when you. Oh, sorry, Lesson. Go ahead, Lesson, man. You've been waiting for it, man. Go ahead, man.
I was going to ask Atticus, do you believe that nothing is something? Like, do you believe that there can truly be nothing as an existence? Right?
You mean a zero state?
Yeah, like absolute nothing.
That's a very interesting question, Lesson, because I've thought about this. I believe it's a belief. Okay? That's why I said belief.
Yeah, that's what
A
I
ze-
asked too. Yeah, do you
I,
believe it?
I,
But
I believe there can be a zero state, but it is not permanent. There has to be something immediately after it, no matter how much time
Well,
separates the two.
all
Lesson
right.
just
But there
described
has to be
Bitcoin.
something.
Lesson just described Bitcoin. You see that? He just described
Well,
Bitcoin.
no, he just no, but that's good enough, Atticus. But that he answered what I believe the problem is that I'm a person. I don't believe that nothing can ever truly be zero. I don't
Me
think
neither. Yes.
you know what I
There's a
mean. Like
zero state, but there has
if
to be
there's
something.
something right, if there's something there has to be someone or something to even notice that there is nothing there. So in my mind, there is something there. So I think what you see in people that like that in the debt matrix, you see as though there's almost nothing there. Like they're not living a fruitful life. They're just doing their regular thing. They're not trying to advance. So in my
Frenchel,
mind,
please mute.
there's something there.
Frenchel, please mute.
You
Yes,
see in
thank you.
people that are like that in the
Frenchel,
matrix,
please mute.
you see as though there's almost nothing there.
Lessons, please speak to me.
Yeah, it's like you're seeing that there's a potential there, and you're trying to spark it up, fire it up,
People that like
right?
that in
But
the matrix.
in their mind, they've already replaced what you see as nothing. What we would see as nothing, they've already
It's like
replaced
you're
that with
seeing that
something.
there's a potential.
Lesson, hold on. Yeah, Frenchel, if you're gonna come on, kindly turn off the YouTube in the background because we're getting an echo. Kindly turn that off. Nobody wants you off the panel. Kindly turn that off because Lesson was speaking. Lesson burned. And I agree with you, Lesson. I think there's a lesson. You have to understand my upbringing is such that I care for the people around me.
Yeah, it's different on the continent. It is very different on the continent because you can't really survive on the continent without family, without your
Thank
network.
you. This is what
Yeah, I
international.
understand that.
Like
Jesus
here.
Christ.
It's not like here where
Elder, what's going on? Who's conspiring against us?
I don't know. We lost you, international. We can't hear you, man. I swear, every time you jump on the mic, your mic goes funny.
Please come back. And I
how
want to hear
about now?
Oh,
international.
there
Can
you
you hear
go.
me?
There you go. There you go.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So culturally, there's a big difference. You were saying something. I think on the last live you were on, Atticus. And I don't think really they were understanding you because of the culture difference.
Yeah, I understood what
And
you said,
that's
but yeah,
yeah.
it is true.
It's difficult because the values, the standards that they have are completely different. But getting back to what you're saying about zero, this is what Atticus is doing. He's actually creating the zero because they are, let's say,
Yeah,
Oh
follow
my
what I'm
God.
saying, and he's ending up at zero.
International. Please repeat what you just said. You dropped off for a second. Please, please,
Yeah,
please, please. I need to hear what you're saying.
Yeah, basically what you're experiencing is that you have people that you're interacting with that are negative, that they have a negative number to you, to put it in a mathematical term. So they're canceling you out.
right.
This is why I'm saying you have to get in the right groups around the right people who are your peers. And that will cause a multiplication, not a canceling. You understand?
Yeah, that's like the same thing in with protons and neutrons. If you have a proton with a neutron, you're gonna cancel it out. But the thing about it is two neutrons can make a positive. You see what I'm saying? So that's why they're
Negative
so
and
comfortable
negative.
together. Because
I mean, think about it.
right,
It's like those magnets too. You try to put a magnet on the one that, and you can't push it together. There's nothing. You can't see nothing between them, but you can't push them together.
yeah,
Yes.
See what I'm
yeah.
saying?
See, I understand what Atticus is saying because, um, like me, for instance, the things I'll try to do for my family. I skipped the whole step of even trying to explain it to them. What I would have had did is set their stuff up for them. Like Like I already have my will and everything already written out. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm
Wow.
skipping and stuff for them. Like I already have stuff set up for my nephews and all that stuff.
Wow.
Right. So I understand what you're saying there, Atticus, because you want to help them so bad. And this is where I kind of disagree with International when he said you're not on your purpose. I feel like, but he did get it right when he said it's part of the process, right? Like it's part of the process, hitting your head up against the wall, guessing and checking as to what method is going to work for such person. You see what I'm saying? Like you kind of have to individually tailor
Oh,
things
the
for
test.
people
Test.
because they've been, yeah, because you got to understand they've been, I don't know necessarily about over there, but here definitely, you know, if anybody is even like on social media and stuff, you get like LJ says all the time, they're getting hit over the head all the time with marketing. Like that's all they even know how to understand is something that's getting them to consume something. So if
Right.
you're coming to them and you're like, okay, I want to, you know, help you with this, that, and third, there's almost a level of distrust, right?
I think,
Because
listen, I think where I fall short, listen, I'm a big softie when it comes to humanity in general. I was brought up to think in a way that we should all make it. As misguided as that may be, because now I understand.
well,
My logical brain tells me, listen, not all of us gonna make it. But I
yeah,
was brought up thinking that all humanity stands a chance, and I interpreted that as every single human being. So it saddens me when I see people die of circumstances beyond them. In fact, I've gone to great lengths to try and attempt to numb myself to it. On the outside, if you looked at me, you would think I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry, LJ, for swearing, but I'm just being open with my family. These guys are my family.
No problem, man. Let's see. Frenchell just jumped up here. Frenchell, you up there?
Can you hear me?
We can. Thank
Oh,
you for
cool.
joining. Appreciate
I
it.
just got a new laptop, so I wanted to try it out.
Sounds good.
Yeah. How are you guys doing?
Doing well.
We're going on day by day.
Yeah, it was a lot of masculinity. I had to put some femininity in it.
You got a story for us? Well,
Bring it,
what's
bring
going
No,
it,
on?
bring it,
I
bring
don't
it, bring
have
it,
no
bring it.
stories, but it's just nice to hear, you guys, people who are free. Um, as LJ know, you guys probably know because I've been on here a couple times. I have last year, but right when COVID hit, I filed bankruptcy, Chapter 7, and debt literally was stressing me the F out.
Don't
Like,
worry, don't worry. International minded is your man right there.
I,
International. Come in.
that was so stressful. Like, you guys, like due dates. I had got my car repossessed, and like, man, and then somebody told me who was actually he's a debt slave too. He filed chapter 13. He was like,
Man.
Franchelle, Franchelle, he was like, file chapter 7, file bankruptcy. And I was like, no, uncle, I'm not gonna do that. That's
it's not good the
stupid.
finesse
Like,
part of it.
he was like, file chapter 7. So I go up to this nice building. He gives me his bankruptcy lawyer or whatever. I go to this nice building and I sit with the dude, and he's like, okay, so what's your debts? And we going over everything, and then he pulls up like literally everything. There was stuff that I didn't even know in collections I didn't even know I had. Like, I was like, what? He pulled up everything. Everything. And then like now to just get on my credit report and everything is just like 0. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just so lucky to be around you guys because that is a mindset. And so what I wanted to talk to LJ about, because there's just this thing, it's so much pressure for women, like body image, right? And so all the girls are getting, BBLs. Like, I don't know if you guys know what that is.
No, I don't. What is that?
It's a Brazilian butt lift.
Oh, I mean, I've been seeing what I've been seeing. I've been seeing some bad ones on some videos. Yeah.
So like all the girls.
Don't you start now, Frenchie.
No. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have a pretty nice body, but
squats.
But listen,
no surgery.
Listen, they're financing the surgeries.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, LJ, talk to her.
They slip.
Somebody talk to her. She said finances. Somebody talk to her.
Hold on, I gotta chime in real quick because I was just talking to this chick at work the other day. This chick said, I'm gonna get breast implants next year. The broad got missing teeth. I can't make
that's
this
not
shit
funny.
up, yo.
Let me stop laughing. I mean, that's not even funny.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
I can't make this shit up.
That's not funny. I didn't mean to laugh. Don't.
Yeah, right. And what's worse is right after she had got into it with some other chick, and she said, "Yeah, chick just tried to come apologize to me. I walked off. I don't do that fake shit." I said, "Yeah, you do." I said, "You talking about you want to get breast implants?" She said, "That's different."
Lessons a G.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
What's up, little bro? My little bro just came in the room. What's up, little bro? Yeah. Hey, Frenchelle, but the last one I meant to say, finish your story, Frenchelle. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but the girls see what they're doing because my younger sister, I have a mindset. And I don't finance. I don't do that. And so I asked my sister because surgery, that's expensive. Like if you doing a surgery, I mean you dropping some bands, So I asked my sister, my younger sister, because she got work done. And I asked her,
how old are you, Frenchelle? Sorry. How old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay. What's your height, weight, and dress size?
Oh no!
Oh no, we ain't doing that
here. No, gentlemen, settle down. Gentlemen, settle down. Friendship. No cam. We don't need no cam. No cam. We don't listen. We don't need no cam. You can be honest. You can lie to us. It's up to you. Height, weight, and dress size, please.
My Instagram.
No, lessons. I am. What's this?
No, I don't know. Like I don't even know my dress.
What's the height? What's the height?
Listen, Atticus. I don't need to know that. All right. I want to tell the story.
Fair enough.
Let's just drop that. All right.
No, but I'm just saying when my sister, I'm talking to her and I ask her how much did you pay for. When I asked her how much did you pay for the surgery, she doesn't give me she doesn't give me an exact amount. So I'm not in her business, but I feel in my heart she's financing it. Now, that is crazy to me because that makes zero sense to me how girls now are putting down payments for surgery. I mean, surgery, like plastic surgery. And then they're coming out of the surgery and they're going to be making payments on their own body, and it's cosmetic surgery. And
it counts on what, you got to remember, expensive has different definitions according to who you're talking to. So did she get a proper surgeon? You know what I'm saying? Or did she get
Colombian, American,
fits her budget? Or did she get a surgeon that fits her budget, that fits her financing?
Yeah, Colombian, American. It means
I mean, they went to
different things.
all the girls are going to Miami. All the girls are going to Miami to go.
American doctors. Oh.
Yeah. But I just thought it's just crazy. Like before I knew, this SMD, I'm not gonna lie, I would have been the girl like, oh, all I gotta do is put 500 down and they'll take me in to go get a new butt. Okay. And then I could just pay it later. Okay. I would have been that girl.
It's bad. That tells you a lot about your friends or your family. If they're financing a surgery that they don't need, that tells you a lot. Tells you everything you need to know about their finances, everything.
But let me ask, LJ, let me ask this. Who's paying for it? Is it them or someone else?
Now, the point is that they're just financing. It doesn't matter who's making the payments. I'm just saying it's financing. It's crazy.
Oh, financing. Monthly payments? Oh my
Monthly
God.
payments.
No,
but imagine you getting surgery, plastic surgery, in the next, I don't know, maybe a couple of days. I don't know, because people want their money. And you get a bill for plastics. It's not even like chemotherapy or something like that. It's not even like a real medical. You have to heal, from the surgery. And so imagine getting bills for a surgery.
Well, the majority of them, I guarantee the majority of them are going to get the surgery and not pay. Because what you going to do? Repossess the booty or something? You can't do that.
LJ, you're right, because she's speaking from a different point. I understand, Frenchelle, you're speaking from a point of view of, do you need it or not? But we are speaking from a point of, you're financing it. You understand what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like, whether you need it or not is one thing. The fact that you're financing it on interest.
On your own body. That's just what I'm saying. On your body. They're financing their own body.
Let me ask you this too, Frenchelle. Let me ask you this. Now, the last time you had that amazing story with that dude, right? How has your dating life been since you now can see?
How
is it?
Okay.
I'm curious. I'm very curious.
She took a deep breath. LJ, she took a international. She took a deep breath.
She sure did.
Okay.
I'm curious. I'm ready to hear that.
She like slumped back in her chair.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, okay. There you go. He's back.
All the guys, it's very hard to find a man that owns himself. Like, it's very hard. Okay, I am 30. I don't have kids. I'm free. I'm a catch right now. Like, I'm a catch. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
and and you can see on top of that.
I'm a catch, and I'm cute. I'm pretty. I have good conversation. I'm a catch. I'm pretty. I'm cute.
You're 30 years old.
Come on, tell me the story. I want to know. Let's hear the story.
Atticus, if you saw me, you would want to marry me.
No, but carry on.
All right.
Okay, so anyways, the guys are just like, they have all these like really nice cars, but I know they're making payments. And it just makes me feel like, you can't afford this. Like, what are you doing? Like,
now, how do you know they're making payments? How do you know?
Good question.
I know because I can tell, because I say it in a cool way, like, oh dang, how much you put down on this? I'm just I say it like that. I don't come on.
She's too well trained. She's too well trained, LJ.
She knows the questions to ask.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, you want this truck? All right, I see you. Okay, well, how much? Oh, I put down a little bit, just a little.
That's it.
I was like, oh man, I can't even rock with you. Like,
no, Frenchelle, I'd split into, but I wouldn't marry you.
Oh, that's funny.
Most men don't even care. Y'all don't even value marriage no more. So
no, that's a no, that's a lie. But carry on. That's a lie, but carry on.
You worship Kevin Samuels, so I believe you.
No, I don't. I'm not subscribed to him. I'm subscribed to LJ, not to Kevin Samuels. And I knew Kevin Samuels
But
before he blew up.
just think about it. You guys be going too
Really?
deep. You guys be going too deep.
Yes.
Yeah, tell
Is
him,
he
No,
gay?
LJ. It's too far. It's gone
no,
too far
no.
already.
Just very quickly, gentlemen, very quickly. Yes, I knew Kevin Samuels before he blew
Okay,
up from
no,
CDM.
no. Let's stop there.
I'm not subscribed to him. I'm
No,
subscribed to LJ.
no, none of that talk. Okay, we got to stay on track here. Okay,
I respect you, LJ. I won't say anything about that anymore.
Cool. No, honestly, I just want to like it's. You're not really gonna take anybody serious. Like if I had this knowledge at 30, I just wouldn't take anybody serious that don't own themselves. That just wouldn't happen. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's gonna be like a needle in a haystack, I'm sure, but it's to your benefit. So you don't end up having, have children by the wrong person. You got future court dates for the next 18 years of your life. You don't want none of that. So
But I feel like I'm cool. Like I feel like I'm dope. Like I filed Chapter 7. I'm so proud of it. Like I'd be like, I don't even hide it. I'd be like, yeah, I filed Chapter 7. Like I'm free or whatever. Like my debt is gone. If I was talking to a dude, if I was dating him and we were serious, and I seen that he was swamped in debt, I would tell him just file Chapter 7, and I wouldn't be judging. I feel like that's a cool chick, right?
They don't value stuff like that, though. I mean, just the average person doesn't in general. When I made a post, I shared something on Facebook or whatever, and it was I said it was some chick. She said, I'm not with men for their money. I just want to, what I mean, or I just want you for you or something like that.
That's smart.
Yeah. I said that's why y'all stay going through it. And some chick got on there and this, that, and third. She left a long message on there. It essentially got to the point where I was just like, if somebody's broke, they should be worried about not being broke. They shouldn't worry about being in a relationship.
Exactly, lesson. Exactly.
Yeah. And she was like, well, I feel sorry for you that you have that mindset. I said, don't feel sorry for me. I said, I deserve everything that I've ever gotten, good or bad.
Accountability.
And I essentially got to the point. I said, well, most people are just like sheets of paper. There's no depth, there's no principles, there's none of that stuff. And she ended up agreeing with me. Yeah, I agree with you that most people are like that. I was like, well, you just making my whole point. Like, I'm not going to date somebody just to be doing it. Like, you just made the whole point.
Hey, let's be on dates having philosophical conversations. I could imagine a date on.
That's just funny to me. Like what Atticus was explaining earlier, how you try to get through to people and they don't hear it and things like that. Like I tried to do that for like a whole year straight, and I just gave up on it. You know what I mean? So now I'll just troll them with it. Like I'll do things to where, I'll do things to where it's like I get people to like tell on themselves almost. Right. You know what I mean? Sometimes like you exposing yourself. Like I'm not, just the mere fact that you're engaging with me. Like,
let them talk and they'll expose themselves. That's it.
Right. Like it was something that was like it
it
was something that was like a conspiracy theory, right? And like of course I didn't have proof of it because you never have proof of type of stuff like that. And it was like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any proof. I would just have to see some proof. And I was like, why would you want to see that? And he deleted the comments and stuff. Like he deleted all his comments off of it. Like, yep, see? Like, but yeah, that's just most people most people just lie to themselves from the jump though. Like a lot of people, like if you try to no matter how much you try to bridge the gap and try to get them to understand that, like it's not about money, it's about owning yourself. Like just basic principles like that, they don't really register to them because they've already lied to themselves. Therefore, it's easy for them to lie to you, and it's easy for them to dismiss you because to themselves, it's true. To themselves, what they're doing is right. So that's what I just came to.
I just wanted to throw in a few things there.
Yes.
The first thing is to address Franchel's concern. Her concern is the same as Atticus's. You can't go. You got to be in the right place to find the right kind of people. You're probably not going to find it at work.
Oh my God. International, you there?
Worse than
Yeah,
that.
Andre,
You're
you there?
looking for.
There you go. He's
Can you hear
back.
me?
Yeah, you just got back.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so basically, you're looking for needles in a haystack. So it's very difficult to find someone that are going to meet those qualifications. Then guess what that means? That means it's a full-time job. If you're actually looking for a relationship, that is now a full-time job to find someone that is, on the same level. Literally. And I'm talking putting in, 10, 15 hours a week, getting into the right circles to meet the right sort of people. Now, here's the thing that I have difficulty with what I'm hearing here. Number one, if you have time to be bothered, you're not busy enough, as far as I'm concerned. You're not working on your purpose enough. You got time to be bothered. You got way too much free time. The next thing is it's like getting upset at gravity, right? It's like gravity shouldn't be. Gravity hurts my feelings. No, gravity is gravity. You got to deal with it. You could jump, but you're going to come back to the ground. Period. The difficulty I have is when I hear people saying things like they expect for gravity to not exist, or for gravity to be a sometime thing. It just doesn't work with that way. You have to realize that if you're a debt-free person, you are a fraction of a fraction already. The pool of available people, whether it's to be friends or to be in relationships with or business partners, that is such a small fraction of a fraction of the population that you have to calibrate your expectations accordingly.
Speak to that, please. It's amazing. Jeez.
So, frequently I do come across in what I do. The ones that will listen, that I help turn their lives around, eventually they get to this point, the same point Atticus is at, or Franchel is at. Okay, I fix my problem. And my first issue with that is that you got to remember you had a problem. You were like everyone else not too long ago. Sometimes people might perceive you as talking down to them. And you have to really be considerate of that, particularly if you're trying to form a relationship with someone. But in addition to that, I find that okay, now you're a fraction of a fraction, but you don't want to put in the work. You got to put in the work.
International Wine. What's interesting to me, because I've been I talk to people and family members. They know, they're pretty aware of interest rates and APR. They know they're paying more for something. They know it, but they don't see. It's weird because they don't see it as a problem. And I was there too. I knew I was paying more for something than what it was worth, but I didn't see it as a problem. I thought that was normal. It's normal to pay more for something.
Well, here's the thing. That's just not normal. There's a tremendous amount. There's a whole machine designed to make that happen. There's all the advertising you see, all of the zero downs, the 0% interest rate credit card, all of that you can't even imagine. A matter of fact, the financial system as a portion of the GDP of the nation is 10 times what it used to be 50 years ago. So there's a whole machine to make people believe something that's not true. But like we always say, like LJ and I constantly remind you, It has to be that way. It must be that way. There's no other way that it could be. It couldn't exist any
Okay,
other way.
that's one thing I want to ask you, LJ. Why do you say that? Wouldn't you want the world to be a better place and people just be free? Why would you want people to be slaves?
Okay, so that's a good question, right? Okay, I know it's gonna sound harsh, but the reason why you're talking like that is because your feelings are involved. You're like, oh, wouldn't the world be a better place and rainbows and candy corn everywhere and stuff like that, right? But it's all a choice, Frenchelle. They're choosing to be slaves by not trusting the calculator. It's a choice. Nobody's keeping them down. Nobody's making them be that way. They're choosing to be slaves because they don't trust the calculator. That'll help you take your feelings out. And the reason why I say it must be that way, this is what Andre and I are better. I'm gonna put it in different terms why it must be that way. If everybody knew what we know, Frenchelle, car lots couldn't exist because there'd be nobody left to finance cars, so they couldn't exist. Credit card companies would go out of business, right? Student loans wouldn't even exist. That wouldn't even be a topic on anybody's political radar because it wouldn't exist. That's why it has to be that way. Without debt slaves, nothing works. It has to be that way. We all lose.
I think I think I got a good analogy. Um, I think it was Plato who wrote about this, and I don't think it really happened, but there is a moral to it. Um, it was back in ancient times or whatever. There was a population of people that were in a cave. And there was only a fire in the cave. That's all there was. It was a cave and there was a fire, and they ever knew anything from the outside world. Only thing they thought was real. They even thought their shadows were real because that's all that they saw was the shadows on the side of the cave or whatever. But one man goes out of the cave and he finds out, hey, there's all this stuff out here. There's food, there's greenery, there's animals, all this stuff. He goes back into the cave to try to tell everybody else, and his eyes had adjusted to the sun from not being in the sun that long. His eyes had adjusted to it. He went back in the cave and went blind. All right, so that's just kind of how it is. If it's like I just analogize that to trying to pull people out of the debt matrix. Like you can get lost in the sauce trying to pull people out, and it's just like a question of like me, for instance. Like I care about black people. I want to help black people. Like that's how I even stumbled into this whole thing is because I was doing history upon my lineage myself and looking into actual history like before slavery and things like that. But I realized most black people just don't care about it, right? And I just came to the realization I don't want to die on that hill. I want to help as many people as I can, no matter what, right? If I can, but if I can't, then so be it. That's just not the hill I want to die on. So
You know, when I think about that, right? You guys know me. I don't really talk about color and all that stuff because I don't believe it has anything to do with color, right? This is what it really boils down to. If they could come up with a test to give each ethnicity group to say who trusts math and who don't, who trusts math the most, and they just gave out this test, right? That would immediately tell you who has the money in what order. And like maybe always people talk about the Jewish people, this and that. Well, maybe Jewish people trust math more than black people. You know what I'm saying? That's than Chinese people. It doesn't matter. It's just what ethnicity
Okay,
group trusts math.
LJ, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And I might sound ridiculous, but I just want to ask. So you don't think white people and all the things that black people, what we've been through, you don't think they had a head start?
Of course they
in
did.
finances?
Of course they do. They probably designed the whole thing. What's your point in saying that? I'm curious.
Because
they probably
say
invented
that
it.
what
Huh?
you say what ethnicity or what race trusts math the most.
Correct.
But white people the Jews had a head start.
Correct. Okay.
So of course they would trust math the most.
Okay.
So I just wanted to know if you were I just wanted to ask that.
Well, I mean, I get why you're saying that. Didn't they have a head start? Yeah, probably because they designed the whole system. So if you design the system, you got a head start. That's true. That is true, right? And then, but it's again, it's just math. It doesn't favor math. Doesn't care what color you are. 1 + 1 = 2, right? If you
Exactly.
believe it or not, that's it. You just do
Exactly.
or you don't.
So, how is them having a head start speak to what you, as an individual, Frenchelle, are doing right now?
What do you mean? I don't know how to answer that.
Exactly what you asked. You said, okay. So you said Jewish people or white people, whatever you want to call them, had a head start. Fair enough. What does that have to do with you as an individual, you as a person?
Well, I'm not thinking of individually. I was thinking as a collective.
Right. A whole.
No. Forget the collective because the collective is not going to put money in your pocket.
No, that's what I'm. No, Atticus, that's her question. Is as the collective, not the individual. No, I know what you're saying, Atticus, but no, she's talking about as collective. And the
The
collective.
collective.
What I'm saying is this: I believe, and this I'll never know. I won't live long enough to know. Was it probably white people that designed the whole system? Yeah, I believe that. That's just something I'll never know. That's just a guess. Okay. And they know, hey, it trusts what it really is, Frenchelle. Let me just break it down. The whole economy is psychological. It really doesn't even exist, right? Because think about it this way, Frenchelle, so you can see. Millions of people believe they're homeowners with a mortgage, correct?
Right.
If they woke up and realized that they were not homeowners, the housing market would crash.
Correct.
See what I'm saying? It would crash. Now, if it crashed, that's bad news for everybody, including the wealthy. That would jeopardize our freedom as debt-free people because we are free because they're in debt because they finance taxes and cars and everything. They finance everything. Without them, Frenchelle, this system could not exist.
Correct.
Well,
That makes sense?
Well,
yeah.
I know
well,
you're coming into it and it's slowly, you
No,
gotta.
it's just it makes me it just because this channel is completely different from any other channel I've ever listened to.
Right.
But it's so beneficial because it just makes me not want to do anything stupid. Like it doesn't make me want to do anything criminally
Right.
stupid.
Right. Because now you know why that is? Because you understand time is the most valuable thing on earth. So you definitely would not risk
Correct.
the time in your life for worthless green pieces of paper. I would never do that.
Time
And
is
you couldn't be
priceless.
you couldn't be amongst the people that understand you don't cheat, you don't lie, you don't scam people, you don't break the financial laws because you don't have to if you want to ever be with the people that understand how it works.
one
Time is
thing with the
priceless.
one thing about the collective mindset, like one thing it took me a while to realize, the best thing that I can do for my community and the people that I want to help
Mm-hmm.
is be the best version of myself.
Yes, very well said, Lessons. Very well
See,
said.
it's a lot of people pushing that. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? There's a lot of people who make their living pushing that narrative
Right,
that you should buy black owned and things like that. No,
right,
you should buy what's the best quality and the best deal that you're gonna get. Like I'm not gonna shop with you just because you black. If you got a piss poor product, it
correct.
is what it is. So I think a lot of them push that collectivist mindset because what they want a piece of what you got, right? Like they want a piece of what you got. You buying into that
Mm-hmm.
collectivism is enriching them. And a lot of times they're really not even saying they're not even really doing what they say they're doing with the money. So it'd be more beneficial to you and everyone else to get themselves debt free, to learn things, learn not to depend on people. Because see, somebody, I know a couple of people like this. They get out on the street corners and they talk about what everybody should do. If we all did this, if we all stood up, if we all put this, that, and the third. But then, they finance in their car, they're borrowing money from people. You know, how much are you really trying to help your community if you taking from them to better yourself? But then on the back end, you claiming it should all be about community. No, it should only be about community because you need the community. That's what it is. You know what I mean? Everybody should just be relying upon each other. Yes, you should rely on their family and things like that when you need it. But me being able to take care and handle my own, that's one less thing that somebody that's close to me has to worry about. And pretty much like I'll talk about this a lot because this was what really cemented in my mind that you can't help everybody. There's something called the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. 20% of people control 80% of everything, right? So in sports, in the NFL, there's 32 teams. Only one team can win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
The team that wins the Super Bowl doesn't care about the team that's 8-8 that they didn't even have to play.
They
You
don't
see
care
what I'm
about the
saying?
31 teams behind them.
Exactly. So and now, but it's the thing about it is if they did that, right? If they worried about what they could have done, couldn't have done, well, now you're taking away from game planning for next season, right? You have to worry about protecting what's yours, and now, like you, for instance, now that you owning yourself and you have all your stuff, that's even more reason to protect it. Do what you got to do to protect it. Don't just give it out willy nilly. Right. That's why a
Yeah,
lot of people are mad at like wealthy people. They don't want to give a handout. Well, that's because they had to earn what they had, and they know once you start giving out, then other people want it, and then all of a sudden you've created this cascading effect.
yeah. There's a few things I want to address there. The first thing, I'm not sure necessarily fully what Franchelle was trying to get to, but she initially started talking about family, and I think that's a good place to start. You start with yourself first, and you have to understand where you were and where you are now, and that whole process and how difficult it was, how scary it was. The next thing is, it's still family though. You want the best for them, and there's no reason why you shouldn't tell them the truth, how you see it, and more importantly, be an example. But that doesn't make them any less of your family. If you have to just avoid financial conversations, then you do that. So long as they are not working against your purpose, like so long as they're not putting you down or saying something derogatory against you because you happen to be debt free or have debt free principles, they're still family. Like you still get to enjoy the holidays and the cookouts and all that. What I don't want is for people to get into an us versus them type of thing. It's just not productive. There's better things you can do with your time, like helping people that will listen or improving your own standing. In terms of the system and how it works, what a lot of people don't understand, like Lessons was just saying about the wealthy. It's been my experience dealing with these people that no one works harder than them, no one sacrifices more than them, and no one is more generous than them. And I've seen it with my own eyes. At least these are the ones that I have experienced. I'm sure there's a percentage that are just sociopaths, but I haven't met one yet. All the people I've worked with are they're God-fearing people, for whatever that's worth. They're responsible, they're hardworking, they're family-oriented. So I get concerned with these avatars of people. The wealthy are like this, the poor are like that, men are like this, and women are like that. That whole thing, I just reject it wholesale. I take each person one by one, individual, and I find that 99.99% of the time they're just human beings. Their heart pumps red blood like mine. It can be stressful, and this is where I'm saying that if you're finding friction, or if you're finding that things are difficult, usually it's the circumstances that you've put yourself in, or that you find yourself in, and it's just a small degree, a small change usually, believe it or not, because most people are not making wholesale changes in their lives. It's just a turn, a slight turn this way or a slight turn that way makes all the difference. Dropping a bad friend to get a new good one. I worry a lot. Like I was telling LJ, I really worry a lot about, particularly with the younger generations, with this concept of agency, that they don't really think that they're going to find a husband or a wife, or ever be able to afford a home, or that they'll have to work until they drop dead at the job and all these things. And none of those things have to be the case. If you choose something different, you can have something different. So I don't know. I just wanted to add those 2 cents in there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap this up though, man. It's 11 o'clock where I'm at, so we got to shut this down. Everybody, thank you everybody for joining. Much appreciated.
Thank you, LJ. Good night.
Thank you.
You're
Good
welcome.
night.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome always, right? And I'll see you guys all tomorrow. All right, Atticus, you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. About to shut it
Yes,
down.
I can. I can. I just wanted you to share my screen real quick. Can you see it?
Now we can. What are we looking at?
Look at that.
What am I looking at?
My Credit Karma.
I see 0, 0, and then I see 3 things. You have 3 things on yours?
The last one is 79. That's my groceries.
Right. But everything else is 0.
0, 0. My credit score is 627. One below excellent. 628 is excellent. Just like you
see
said,
yours,
LJ.
you guys UK one looks very different than ours. That's why I'm looking at it. It looks different.
My utilities, you see that? It says utilities Hutchinson 3.
Oh, that's on
Beasley
your
is on-
utilities is on your credit report?
Yes.
Oh wow, that's not. Yeah, ours is not like that.
It says what? What
We don't-
number
we-
does it say?
It says 0. But I'm just saying we don't have utilities on a credit report unless you didn't pay them.
No.
That's the only time utilities go on your credit report here. If you didn't pay it, then it goes on your credit report.
No, 0. I owe nothing, just like you did on your channel.
Okay.
I owe nothing. It says no
Congratulations.
It says here no bankruptcies or insolvencies, no court judgments,
Nice.
no notices of correction or reported.
Nice.
I'm clean. You
Not
logged into your.
Not many people would do what you just did. Not many people do what you just did.
Bro,
Nobody else. Okay, Aaron, you're in the UK. You up next?
I'm following your example, LJ.
Yes.
I'm clean just like you are. Let people know.
I'm glad you showed that. Proof that's the credentials.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. About to get
Thank you, everybody. I love you all. I really do. And I will always be back whenever I get a chance. I love you all.
Sir.
LJ, keep hosting the shows.
Will do.
On the weekend.
All right. I will.
Peace.
Later. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Much appreciated. Man, this went longer than I thought. You guys know I don't do late ones like this, but it was a good one. Don't worry about it, Aaron. I forgot. How old are you, Aaron? Remind me of your age. You're young, right? You're not even. You might be too young. It don't count when you're that young. You talk about where do I sign up? That means you never looked at it. You probably ain't got nothing on it anyway. Yeah, 24. Yeah. Unless you did something very, very financially bad in your young years, you're probably not going to have too much on your credit report anyway. But keep it like that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Just keep it like that. All right, Andre, peace out. Thank you, Zeke. International Minded, Red Coco. Yeah, thank you. I don't know if Omanike still in here. Antoine. Thank you for lessons jumping on. NYC. Atticus, of course. Zeke. All right. I will see you guys. Oh, today's Saturday, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm not sure what time we're gonna do Q&A Sundays, but I'll see you tomorrow. Later.